Still February 2nd, 2026. Last week when I was in Summit Mall, where I said that guy showed up and says that he had seen the tape of the rape and torture. Don't let her see me. I look like that guy. I just seen a glass. I walked away real quick. Officer Mark. He is a fake FBI agent. Make sure he's not back. He tortures people. Make sure he's not back. Because bad and good are showing up from the beginning of the case. Bad and good. I told you that other guy said he found the surveillance of that investigator St. John said nothing bad ever happened to him. Well, they told that people that, right after Thanksgiving of 18, and that the rest of my boys all said nothing bad ever happened to him. Why did they say that? Right after Thanksgiving of 18, too, and July 25th, 25. In October 1st of 24, I got bit by a dog, really bad. Several places, big dog. I couldn't work for a little while, and then I was in pain for a long time. And these people were running around how they were going to steal my money from the dog bite. They never got a dime. Just like they were going to steal my divorce settlement, they never got a dime. Just like they're not going to get my informant money. They can't get a dime. It's illusion they can take from you, so you just give it over to them. It's gone. Well, around Christmas of 24, Carl and I are out in the mall. These big guys show up. A lot of people had scattered. They had chased some people off. We told all those people leave her alone. We could hear her screams through the car speakers. And she got in the car. She was all bit up. And they announced they were from the Department of Justice. She had reported all this, and we were to come down and find out what on earth is going on. And they were talking about an agent stealing my money and getting left there, and how he's under investigation. They've showed up a couple times. See, you don't ever want to act stupid and deny the case. The federal government funds it. A real FBI case that was open for an FBI informant threat and attempted lie case. Who do you think cuts the FBI agent's salary to watch me? The sheriffs or the other police officers. They get paid to watch me through the government. They fund the case, the surveillance, and then the surveillance like on Judge Peter's group and all the other ones. And they use that surveillance. How do they justify having it? Well, there's a threat and attempt to lie case for an FBI informant. Here's a judge's order and our legal right to surveillance her and be around her. And it stands up in court without me. And they paid those officers and those agents to get that surveillance. The Department of Justice pays for it, just like they pay for my informant money that I never received yet. See, if you're an officer or an agent, you deny the case, you can go to jail for obstruction to justice because there's a real case. I was in a different county, and this other sheriff's office said in that Karen's, well, we're all supposed to keep an eye on if we see her out. Quartered her. Same sheriff's department. U.S. Marshals said not to say a word to her. That agent left her there. And if you want to get caught up real quick on what's happening, listen to Karen's prayers. They listen to me. Ones that don't work the case. So they know what's going on if they see me. But that's where you can't be an officer, you can't be an agent and deny the case. It's obstruction to justice. The Department of Justice pays for it. And that surveillance they got off the case put thousands of drug cartel guys in jail, where they said they're going to destroy me so they can get the case thrown out. They'll even put it that agent was defrauding her. He didn't pay her, let her live through all that. He had no legal right around her. All that surveillance needs thrown out, and every drug cartel guy drug cartel dealer needs to be released. He had no right around her. Like Officer Reinhardt in Louisville, until that agent took your statement and agreed to protect you. Had statements of threat of life from everyone in that home. He had to have a quarter or two. Fourth Amendment requires one. Even the FBI go to jail. It's the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution. To actually search your home, they have to have a court order. To actually watch you, they have to have statements of threat and attempt to life from everyone in that home that they know somebody's life's in danger. But no one can be in your home. Where they lied on the chief of police up there, that he gave them special permission to groups of people to break in people's home. Breaking and entering is a crime. Setting up button cameras is, let's see, cyber stalking, illegal monitoring. That's like 10 years just for illegal monitoring. They got voyeurism, taking naked pictures of people without their permission, without the drug confessions, photoshopping and washing, kiddie porn of my grandkids going potty. And then the rape, human trafficking, and then the extortion scam of trying to steal from the government. These people have over 100 years. Chief of police did not give them permission. I asked the Portage County sheriffs if they knew anything of this. They knew nothing. Nothing. And what these people did is illegal. They weren't in my home, nor did they have knowledge of it. They weren't in anybody else's. So if they had no knowledge, neither did the Ravenna police. Who gave them permission? Dave. Where Dave hired 2 men on his own, I found out. Dave did this. And where people better be lying on Melissa. Where Dixie said, Melissa said the group of people that hired to watch her, Officer John, Agent John, you need to arrest her. Arrest her. The group of people that hired to watch her. That the chief of police allows groups of people to break in people's homes. No, I don't. It's a crime. Set up button cameras watching. That's sextortion, cyber stalking, legal monitoring, voyeurism. A lot more. Break in and do stuff to them, like drug beat and rape them. No, we don't. But if Melissa wants to say she's an accessory to those evil crimes, she needs to go to jail. Kiddie porn of my grandkids going potty. See, today some guy was complaining. I told that attorney If they want those kids listed sex offenders for being peeking toms, go ahead. I don't care at this point. We all know what she didn't know who Henry Moffey was, and none of this is funny. And she didn't know anything about this. No, I didn't. They want to make sure she wasn't an accessory to him. Well, they always know that. Hmm? One of their lies where I told you I already have Danny, or not Danny, but I have Jen and Dave uh, taped of, and the police even got Daniel, of on the 4th of July, they were an hour late of 2018. We had already eaten. I was putting the food away. I already did up the dishes. They came in. We were already drinking coffee. They sat down on the couch. I took a picture of everyone. I got the food back out, made their plates. They took 2 bites, yelled. Pillow fights ran to the basement. We had a split level. I put the food back in the refrigerator, grabbed 2 bottles of water, and Jen and I went and sat on the front porch. Gabe's riding on the lawnmower. John, Noah, and Dave are playing catch. And Jen and I are sitting there talking about our new home. We finally got 2 more and we went back inside, went to dish up dessert, and barely sat down. Dave came in, John left. I said, "What do you mean left?" He didn't say goodbye. He was in a hurry. He only stopped in for the kids to see the house. That's it. He has other places to go because it's the 4th, and he just stopped in for a few minutes. They weren't there 45 minutes. They didn't come upstairs. They're so crazy dumb. They said they came upstairs, they looked through a crack in a bathroom door, being peeking toms, perverts. And you're supposed to be weird with yourself. That's disgusting. It never happened. I was outside. And then you got to think how infected I was from being drunk, being raped, and I thought it was from the well water infected my private area. Some pills and creams. I would literally scream when I peed. I'd have to wash off that cream and then put new on. You'd have to use douches, the applicator, and then even put some on. I mean, it was to the point my private area was 3 times swollen bigger than what it is. It was that infected from being human trafficked. Now I know it was from being human trafficked. I thought it was the well water infected me. Now, you're in there wiping your butt, taking care of your personal area. You're undressed. They were trying to say the perverts peeking in at people, taking care of the personal area and wiping. That lists them sex offenders. If a minor is a peeking Tom, they can go to jail for 6 months or up to almost a year. And they will be listed as sex offender the rest of their life. See, that's where if Melissa puts her names on the tapes before, like they said, anybody puts their name on the tape before, they're going to go to jail for it. These people admitted to heinous crimes. That's evil. They also admitted to selling kiddie porn. And they even said anybody puts their names on the tapes before will be listed child molester. They taped those children going to the bathroom. And they sold it. And they admitted they did. See, it's right on Google. If an attorney sets up button cameras in your home, they are to be disbarred and criminally charged with all those crimes instantly. If they can't approach hospitals or doctors fishing for information, that's a federal crime, 5 to 10 years. Then if they talk to them, it's 10 years HIPAA for both. If a doctor talks to them from there, 10 years. Medical records, if they steal someone's medical records, it's 10 years. They got like 35 just for the dirty doctor scam without the legal monitoring. Kiddie porn, rape, drugs. They got like 100 years. But then they run around telling everybody, we're going to get you money. Oh, and then Melissa's mean games of pretend, like my one client, October 5th, 21, they were talking about that girl lying. He's like, who's that crazy Melissa? They'll talk about lying everywhere we go. It's like the ex-daughter-in-law friends with the ex's girlfriend had the kids make up some mean games and pretend on Thanksgiving of 18. He said, like, it's been years. They're still talking about that girl lying. You still are, too. She needs arrested. See, on Thanksgiving of 18, all the police know It's documented on Melissa's record. She lied during an FBI case. Her and her kids are documented in games that pretend. As a Massillon police put it. Stark County Sheriff admitted they knew they were made up of everything. 21. Federal agents that work my case. The ones that look like Joshy from the Belvin office. Officer John, January 12th, 22, 4:55 p.m. What did those kids get a tape stating? They made everything up. And right after Thanksgiving 18, Walmart 62. Melissa could go to jail for involving herself this. I'd hate to arrest her. Kids are little. Why don't we just write it up? Her and the kids were showing off for David and his girlfriend. They're wrote up as documented in games of pretend. And why are they having those kids make all that shit up? Oh, they're just trying to scare her out of the house. That's it. It's one thing being a show-off and a bitch. That's another being an accessory to those crimes. See, and then they showed up. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. They were all sitting around laughing, making up stuff on Karen behind her back. Karen's risking her life to get information on these people so they get stopped. And her family's sitting around laughing, making up stuff on her. They ought to be ashamed. See, no one went to the hospital. There's no police report. The police and the FBI were already there for a quarter. What did they tape John saying? He didn't know what was going on when I asked him. He said that Melissa just had to make up something because of the divorce and that I was going to move out. But trust me, no one can say anything bad about you. And she'll have her church people make up something too. But don't worry about it, Mom. No one could ever say anything bad about you. Just be made up because of the divorce. I had to wait almost a year to find out what the mean games of pretend. And when Flora stated it, and Josh is like, ooh, don't. Oh, I was at BRL's first party. And I'm like, you know how mad I was when I heard those kids say the house wasn't meant for Grandma, it was meant for Auntie Cheryl and Papa. Said, that's not what they said. They said this. It was filthy. I would have spanked them all. It's one thing liking the girlfriend better than Grandma. They ought to be ashamed for that. But I'll tell you what, it's another thing, making up mean lies. You have to teach your kids not to lie. You have to teach them to be good people. Not liars and extortionists. And accessory to attempt to murder, kidnapping, kiddie porn of other kids going to the bathroom. And trying to extort money from the government. You don't teach them to be hardened criminals. They go to jail for them. And Josh went, ooh, don't say that again. It's not true. Flora's like, of course it's not true. Of course it never happened. We made it up. They were games of pretend. So embarrassed I didn't know. She was sitting next to me. Go, my God. See, I was a kind of crazy mother. I wouldn't have just spanked him. I would have made him go to everybody they lied to and told them they were lying. And I would have embarrassed them enough they would have never lied on somebody else again. They would have been humiliated. But the fear of God or the fear of you in them to make them good people until they're 18 and they don't want to listen, they can get out. Harold Jessup. Make them be good people. And see, they're documenting me jokes. I was in Mount Carmel, Illinois in June or July of 21. That weird Eric that laughed at everybody for falling for this October 18th, November 18th, 22. I made fun of everybody for falling for this. He was talking to me back then, calling people, and people started calling me names, walking by, calling me names. I got so mad I yelled out, if you don't think I'm innocent, call the Massillon police. I looked up the number, screamed it out. Whole street went quiet. Some guy yelled out, they said they're documenting me games and pretend she never hurt anybody. Starr County Sheriff's May of 21 occurred, just found out those kids are lying, East Law. Officer John, January 12th, 22, 4:55 p.m. When those kids get tape standing, they made everything up. They talked about her lying everywhere. They used to scream about Melissa's lies in Louisville streets. They did. October 5th, 21, they were even chanting it along the streets of Canton. Those kids made that shit up. It was terrible. Everywhere we went, they talked about that girl lying. It's documented in a record. She lied and interfered in a federal case. Now, any officer, any agent, you don't ever want to deny the case that agent opened with Karen around the house, Karen's will. Like they set up in Akron, it's still open. It's part of the nationwide human trafficking scam. It had to be filed in the court. It had to be filed in the Department of Justice. They paid those officers and agents to watch me and to document everything every day. And so they can use the police surveillance with a court order for threatened attempt to life case on an FBI informant to go after the drug cartel. See, like they said, the way the agent opened, they don't need her. They just need that court order and the surveillance they got off of it, of the people around her. You don't ever want to deny that case. Judge Peters out of Florida, 100 men. Trakasami, tips from Michael Peterson, bragging how he's smuggling oil into the U.S. Got all that information, bill of sales, large transfers, the state that was buying it, port it was coming back when he was leaving to go down there where he's staying. Not bad for a little old lady, right? They called down and asked about that shipment. It wasn't legitimate. They'd look into it. He was arrested with 50 other people for selling oil out from underneath his government. I got a world terrorist arrested. U.S. Marshals showed up. Maddie's friend on the police department knew about the case 2.5 hours away. Knew about the Texas group. That's it. I found out they're all after. Now how they're going to use the case that agent opened to get the drug dealers that were human trafficking people. They announced themselves after we got done talking. How they were going to take care of them. They did an 800 people arrest 3 weeks later. Was bad guys on a platter walking around laughing in my face how they're getting away with crimes here. Who they work for, what crimes they were doing, and people going after them. They were showing up and the feds and the police were undercover, just zoom, 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 zoom. They got thousands. Any police or officer deny the case, you can lose your freedom. It's obstruction to justice. The Department of Justice pays for this case. That's where those 3 guys showed up last year from the DOJ. Chased a bunch of people off. Told them, leave me alone. Said, we found out that some agent may have stole her money. And these people were threatening to steal her dog bite money. We could hear her scream as that dog was biting her. And she got back in, and there was bites all over her. They will not touch it. We were sent here to find out what on earth is going on. She reported it. She didn't get paid from the case. We told those people to leave her alone. Okay. Now, last week when I was up in Fairlawn at Summit Mall, told you those girls that were threatening to kill Michelle for telling on them. That other guy showed up, and then other people said, how dare she think she can shop here? This is our town. Well, no, it doesn't belong to the cartel. It belongs to the good people of Fairlawn. Not to child molesters and serial killers and drug dealers. And you will not tell me I won't shop there. I'll shop anywhere I damn well please. Now, so we're going to go back to the case where they say an attorney had special permission from the chief of police. We didn't give you no such thing. Portage County Sheriff, they had no knowledge of any of this. Oh, he'll stand up. Well, the only thing I'd do is get him arrested too. It's an accessory. And do you think he'd go to jail for you? I doubt that one. You have to have a court order by federal law. He's not going to be an accessory to kiddie porn, human trafficking, drug beating, raping somebody, and illegal monitoring somebody. He's not going to go to federal prison. Are you fucking crazy? Oh, a judge gave him special permission. No, they didn't. Dave hired you on his own. That's where I told you I doubt it's an attorney. Because an attorney, I talked to a real criminal attorney. Nobody could be in my home, not even the FBI, until that protected custody case with statements and court order. It's right to privacy of your house. Just like HIPAA violation. And the scam of the dirty doctor, attorney went fishing for information. Do you know just even the fishing for information is 5 years? 5 to 10? Loss of license? You have to be ethical behavior. And a hospital is willing to talk to them. That's a federal crime, 10 years. A doctor of theirs was willing to go along with them, 10 years. They stole their medical records, 10 years. Get the idea. HIPAA, these people don't know the law. That's where that lady was outside the other day. We found out that that doctor from before wasn't a doctor. They said he may have been a drug dealer. It's just some guy Dave hired on his own. Well, all these people are just who Dave hired on his own. Get the idea? Where the Louisville police, May 30th, 1 a.m. was talking to one of the ladies in an extortion group. She's like, I was going to trick her out a bunch of money. Do you know tricking somebody out of a bunch of money is a crime, honey? A big crime. And confessing that in front of the cops. And Officer Reinhardt even told me even the FBI go jail for being in my home before. Right of privacy. So he's playing. And how she was going to trick Dixie and Melissa into going to jail and put their name on it. And that they found the surveillance of May 26, 25. This whole thing was a scam from Bill from the Freemasons of the dirty doctor not being one of mine, works for them, and they lied. Of course they lied, it's separate. The whole thing is a scam of the Walmart 62. They still have that, you know that. And they found the original case, 0 FBI case. Said her ex-husband hired 2 men on his own. He hired them. One said he was an attorney. They didn't say he was an attorney. They said he was an attorney. So it made it legal. No, it didn't. What were they thinking? Drug cartel dealers coming in and trying to pull a scam on them. They went along with it. You fed me back to them. You had no right. I have a dented in head. I'm losing my sight. I'll have to have surgery. I was raped. I was tortured. My intestines were almost ruptured by beating him in my stomach. They beat me in my stomach so many times, left those giant bruises. They almost ruptured my intestines. They're damaged. They induced vomiting until my stomach shifted up underneath my ribs. I had migraines for years. From the dent in my head, they said I should have died. I stutter now when I get upset. I'm very fortunate. I have post-traumatic syndrome off the chart. My shoulders tore up from that idiot chicking at me and then knocked me into wood rally. My rib cage is damaged permanently. I suffered through hell and like a concentration camp from the drug cartel. And while they terrorized me and mocked me and took turns doing it, and they bragged their crime, they got surveillance on everyone that participated. You don't ever want it in high carrying around the house. Like the people that showed up that said they were from the DOJ, there was a lady with them. Or a lady that was here before they showed up. She was part of a really big bust. I know. FBI informant. Judge Peters' group was at Faith Family Church. 3,000 people seen him. The fake FBI agent that tortured me. These people bragging they could control anybody with their drugs. They break their crimes in different towns across the state. They sold the login. I went into different states in 21. People had it in gas stations. Once it's on the internet, it goes viral. How would you like the horror you lived through to be public entertainment? I'm gonna upload those. But Officer Mark, make sure that guy wasn't that guy. That he's not back. The fake FBI agent that tortures people. Please. Please make sure it's not him. Okay? I only seen a glimpse of him when he said that. And he's like, I found the rape and torture. Don't let her see me. I look like him. And I look back and I'm like, oh, make sure it's not him. Oh, I seen him for a second. That he's not back. Okay, I gotta upload this. But you realize how stupid they are. Now start thinking how incredibly stupid these people are. April 24th, 25, you wouldn't believe how dumb these people are. They did this. I know. You want to take a fly swatter and just smack them with it. Stop it. I gotta go. I gotta go to work. So I'm gonna upload this.